Okay.
So today I'm thinking we're going to do a lot of core work, which goes in with hips and shoulders, which you guys have asked for, because I've been feeling really kind of gooey lately in the core. When I look down, there's a different shape than what there was pre-quarantine, and I'm not sure what will happen with the jeans when I go to put them on again. So it feels also a lot more organized if we have the core kind of online with it. So some of the stuff we do today will be focusing on that, mostly to benefit me. So let's start just standing. And we'll bring the hands together. And you guys know about that concept of zipping up through the low belly from the pubic bone, lifting up toward the belly button. In a Dunham dance class the other day, she also was talking about zipping down from the back body, like from your low back down to your tailbone. So there's this constant loop. And we think about loops a lot with our shoulders, but we also should be thinking about it with our hips so that we're continuously drawing up through the low belly and finding space in the low back. Let's just take a few breaths there to think about that loop. That will help us quite a bit in handstand, because often the reason we fall out of handstand is that we have this disconnect in the core. And we don't want to drop the tailbone so much that we're bending the knees or feeling any strain. You just want to let your front body sort of contract a bit and lift the pubic bone up, and let that help lengthen the back. Let's exhale the arms by the side. On your inhale, reach up, look at the thumb. Fold forward, exhale. Halfway up, inhale, and just step into plank for the exhale. Let's bring the feet all the way together. You have just one thick leg, and find that same loop through the pelvis that you had when we were standing. So we're reaching our tailbone toward the heels, the pubic bone toward the belly button. And obviously it's harder to do in plank than when we were standing. Take one more breath. And start to bend the elbows, come all the way down to the belly, chest and hips land at the same time. Inhale, little cobra, and exhale to downward dog. Take a few breaths here. And after your next exhale, step or jump feet to hands. Inhale when you get there. Fold, exhale. Rise up, inhale. Samasthiti, exhale. Arms just by your sides, that neutral pelvis. Keep the pelvis neutral. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, fold forward. Halfway up, inhale. And step to plank, exhale. Feet together, same thing as before, just breathing easy, finding space in the back body. And you've seen runners at some point crossing the finish line, and you've seen that their shoulders sometimes end up behind their hips, not keeping up with their hips. And that's because of a lack of core strength. So we don't want to end up there. We want this communication between hips and shoulders. On your exhale, bend the elbows, landing chest and shoulders, same time. Inhale, cobra, and exhale, downward dog. So Jules made a request for handstands. Either go near your wall or spin around on your mat like I have to so you have some space to fall, or just stay in downward dog. And when you're ready, move into your handstand. Because you're not really warmed up yet, you're going to be a little bit stiffer. which actually sometimes helps. We'll come through chaturanga when we get out of there. And we'll meet in downward dog. Whenever you get to down dog, just shake out your neck and head. And after your exhale, step or jump forward. Inhale there. Fold, exhale. Rise up, inhale. And let's bring the hands together. And then to prayer, exhale, right knee to the chest. Inhale, foot down, arms up. Keep the belly drawing in, left knee up, exhale. Foot down, reach up, inhale. Right knee up, exhale. We're just going to do one more each side. Foot down, inhale, but it's not a back bend, it's neutral pelvis. Left knee up, exhale. Foot down, arms up, inhale. And fold forward, exhale. Halfway up, inhale. And step to plank, exhale. This time come to the forearms. So you're just in a forearm plank. Fingers pressing down. If you're one of those people whose hands tend to migrate toward each other anytime you're on your forearms, this position is going to be really helpful to help you change that. Dig your thumbs into the floor, don't let them change. Walk your feet in, down dog beat. Drop the head. It's not going to fall to the floor, there's some space there. Draw your belly in, take one more breath. When you're ready, straighten the arms, normal downward dog. We'll inhale the right leg up high and step forward to the hands. High lunge, inhale, reach up. And let's take opposite elbows, pull the elbows back and start to lower your left knee down to the floor or part way. High lunge again, back knee straight. Koundinyasana or just part way, back knee bends. 2 more times like that. And keep the ball of your back foot down on the ground. We talked a little bit about Lisa's ankles last week. And there's like a slight rotation that happened. But you can start to balance out any rotations by pressing into the ball of the foot with some awareness. We'll reach up, inhale. Hands to the floor, exhale. 3-legged downward dog. Just lift the right leg up high, inhale. Knee to the nose, exhale. Leg up high, inhale. One more time like that, exhale, curling it in. Inhale. And just downward dog, right foot down. Both heels up high, inhale. Bend the knees, exhale. Jump forward. Inhale when you get to the top. Exhale to fold. Bend to the knees, inhale. So here's a back bend with bakasana. Try not to make it too much of a flaring. So there is an opening in the chest. You are slightly sticking your butt out, but try not to let it all hang out. So you're still going to drop your tailbone just a little bit. You're still going to tuck your lowest rib in just a little bit. Let's round the back, place the hands, bakasana. Knees to the upper arms or armpits. Rock forward. Lift your heels up toward your butt. Gaze forward. And when you're ready, jump back. Vinyasa. From downward dog, left leg up high. Inhale. Step to the hands. Exhale. High lunge. Hold opposite elbows. Pull them back. And then 4 times. We bend that back knee down to the ground or somewhat down there. And we re-straighten. And try to keep the hips facing forward the whole time, regardless of how bent your back knee is. And even more challenging, try to keep lifting that pubic bone up. zipping up through the low belly. Next time you wind up in a high lunge, just release your arms up, and we'll meet in three-legged downward dog. Left leg up high. And twice, we'll bring the left knee to the nose for an exhale. Return to three-legged dog for the inhale. Whenever you're done with that second one, just place your foot, nice normal downward dog. Straight arms, straight legs, belly in. Walk either the hands a few inches back or the feet a few inches forward. We'll jump into bakasana by lifting the heels, bending the knees, looking past the fingers. And as your knees land, you're going to squeeze them onto your arms. When you're finished trying that, or you did it and it landed, you'll just put your feet down, Utkatasana. So we just kind of reverse what we did before. On your exhale, straighten the legs and fold. Inhale there, halfway up. Send the left leg back. You're just in a simple lunge. Inhale to straighten the right leg. Exhale to bend it. And again, inhale, straighten. Exhale, bend. High lunge, inhale. Twist and hook your left elbow outside of that right thigh. Palms together. Thumbs at the center of the chest. And when you can, step your back foot forward so you're in a twisted chair. Feet together, knees together. Squeeze those legs to the midline. Either stay here. I'm just going to turn for the view of the camera, but you're fine right there. Either stay here or place your hands out to the side. Lean your hips over the space between your forearms and lift your feet. This is Parsva bakasana. We'll lower the feet down again. Take the hands to prayer again. Utkatasana, untwist. And fold straight legs, exhale. I'll just do all that on the other side. Inhale, halfway up. Right leg back, exhale. Left leg straight, inhale. Just as straight as you can get it is fine. Exhale to bend. One more time, inhale straight. And exhale, bend. Reach up, inhale. And find your twist. I usually undo the hands for a moment to roll the flesh of the thigh in so that I feel like my right arm is comfortable on that left leg. Thumbs to center chest, look down, back foot forward. It could be a series of steps or one step. Either stay here in your twisted chair or place your hands. Your hands are going to face the same way as your toes. So the right hand comes down pretty easily. The left hand, you have to reach it out to the side and have a little leap of faith while it lands. Then as you start to lean, your feet will lift up. So that left hip is floating in space. When you're ready, return your feet to the floor. We'll meet in that twisted chair again. We'll turn it into a regular chair. Arms up. And fold straight legs, exhale. Halfway up, inhale. Just a nice normal vinyasa. Try to round up for your exhale. Upward facing, inhale. Downward facing, exhale. Right leg up high, inhale. Step forward, exhale. Either high lunge or warrior one. Inhale, arms up. And interlace the fingers behind your back. All the way to the webbing, so not just the fingertips. Get really linked in there. And just roll the shoulders open. We're going to hang out here. We're just going to press into the outer edge of the left foot. Just let the chest open a bit. Let's lift the thumbs a little higher away from our back leg. Lift the back heel Koundinyasana legs. Untuck the left toes and aim your knuckles toward your back knee. Just take a few more breaths. I'm completely dripping with sweat, and I think it's only about 10-15. Oh Lordy. Okay, slowly release, hands to the floor. Step back, vinyasa. Before we do the other side, let's go for a little handstand situation. So you can walk your feet a little in. You're gonna lean your shoulders over your knuckles and take a two-legged little hop. And you'll try to get your arms to be even straighter when you're lifting your butt. Like you're repulsed by the floor. And we'll meet in downward dog whenever you've had enough of such attempts. And we'll do all this leg stuff, shoulder stuff on the other side. Left leg up high, inhale. Step to the hands, exhale. Warrior one. If you have any back pain, lift the back heel. Interlace fingers behind you. The weight feels a little awkward. And concentrate on getting that back leg straight. Think of zipping up that front body. We'll let the knuckles come a little further away from the leg so we can lift the back heel and Koundinyasana it. And depending on your back bend, your flexibility, some of you, your knuckles will actually be in that little crook of your knee or close to it. Okay, and we'll slowly let that go. Vinyasa or downward dog. Handstand, two legs going up. I'm going to wipe the sweat first because sometimes the drips into my nose and eye are distracting. So you'll notice if you have a wall, you're a lot braver. Takes a little bit of falling to kind of overcome the nerves. Let's meet in downward dog. Heels up high for an inhale. Bend the knees for an exhale and jump forward. Inhale when you get there. Fold, exhale. Rise up, inhale. Hands to prayer, right knee to the chest, just like you did before. Exhale. Foot down, arms up, inhale. Other side, exhale. So it's just a little standing crunch. Inhale. Keep the left leg straight, just bend the right knee to the chest, exhale. Right foot down, inhale. Left leg in, exhale. Foot down, inhale. Full fold, exhale. Halfway up, inhale. Send the left foot back, exhale. High lunge, inhale. Open up warrior two, exhale. Straighten the right leg, inhale. On the exhale, place your right hand, big toe side of foot, bend the knee. Rise up again, inhale, straighten the leg. Exhale, bend the knee, hand, big toe side. One more time like that, inhale. This is just prepping us for lizard. So here we are with that right hand down. Just lower the left hand down and lift the back heel. So the hips are squared again. I wound up slightly off the mat. You could creep yourself back onto the mat if you wanted. No big deal either way. You could drop the head, stare at your back leg, make sure it stays straight, and possibly come down to the elbows. Try not to let your back leg droop. Take one more breath. We'll return to the palms. And that same concept of not drooping, we're going to turn it into a variation on bakasana. Creep the right foot back about 12 inches. Bend your elbows so you can get your armpit to your right shin. Lift your right toes. And just come onto the toenails of your left foot. Press your shin into your arm and lift your butt. Drag your left knee to your chest and just hang out here in this little ball. And don't let your hips droop. Jump back. Vinyasa. So sometimes what happens in an bakasana is the hips get too low, and then it's just too hard to progress. You have to really think about pushing your shin down into your arm to keep your butt up. Okay, we'll do all of this on side two. So left leg up high, inhale. Step to the hands, exhale. High lunge, inhale. Warrior two, exhale. Straighten the left leg, inhale. Hand down, big toe side of foot, exhale. Inhale to rise up. Exhale, this is a Parsva type of thing. Inhale. We're just getting into that left hip. Exhale. I don't remember if we did 3 or 4 on the other side, so let's do one more. We can always use one more. And then when you're ready, right hand down, right heel up. Stare at your right knee. Sometimes we think it's straight and then we see it and it's actually banana all the way toward the ground. If you're coming to your elbows, walk your hands forward a bit so that your elbows are pretty much under your shoulders or an inch in front of your shoulders. And re-stare at your right leg. That same stubbornness that's keeping your knee up is what's going to keep your butt up in bakasana. So we'll return to the palms. Slide the left foot back a few inches, probably 12 inches, 8 inches. Shin to arm. So your elbow had to bend to sort of get that position. Left toes up is easy. Come to your right toenails, and as you're dragging your right knee in, you're lifting your butt up a little bit. And the way you're lifting your butt up is by pushing your left shin into your arm. So when you're ready to get out of there, vinyasa, we'll meet in downward dog. And we'll be there for a few breaths, so there's no rush if you're not there immediately. Okay, and after your exhale, step or jump forward. Inhale there at the top. Fold, exhale. Bend the knees. Utkatasana, inhale. I'm just going to face you, but stay as you are. Right ankle to lower left thigh. Flying pigeon. So you're leaning your chest onto your shin. In a few moments, we're going to turn this into an arm balance twist. We'll take a detour first, so open the hip a little bit more. But you do have to be comfortable with your weight sinking down into that left foot and playing with where are your shoulders in regards to your hips. So let's just lift the chest up, big step back with the right foot, spin around for Parsva, right knee bends, and whatever version you want. Elbow could be on the thigh, hand could be on the floor. Jules, since you said you're working shoulders and opening the chest, for you I'd recommend at least a half bind, bringing the left arm behind the back, because that'll open that left shoulder and at least the left side of the chest. You could mess around with a full bind if you wanted, but that's possible that it would distract from opening the left side. So you decide. Let's take another breath or two. The variation I'm in right now is the twistiest. They all have merit in their own ways. We're just going to rise up and return to face front. Lunge. Bring the right ankle again to your lower left thigh. Lean forward, hook your right elbow on the arch of the foot, and either stay there, or it's going to be just like when you went into your Parsva bakasana earlier. You're going to put your right hand down. That's going to be no problem. It'll be kind of close to your left foot. Then your left hand has to reach out to the side. All your fingers will face the same way as your standing foot. You bend your right elbow and stand on it. And it's just like our previous arm balance, your butt has to stay up. And the way you keep your butt up is you push your foot into your arm. So those of you who went into the arm balance, return to the standing balance. And let's all untwist and just land the foot. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, fold forward. Halfway up, inhale. Step or jump chaturanga. Exhale. Upward facing, inhale. Downward facing, exhale. Stay here and breathe. Just notice how is your breath. Mine's a little crazy because I've been talking. Hopefully yours is a little better than that. So let's try to use the breath to help us in handstand. It's going to be an inhale to get your butt up. So we'll walk the feet in a little bit. We'll lean, shoulders over knuckles. We'll bend the knees. And when you're ready to inhale, push so your butt rises. And just try it a few times. Falling over is not really painful, as long as you have the space and you don't kick the coffee table. Okay. Let's meet in downward dog. It's amazing how much more height I get if the wall is behind me. Very emotional thing this is. Okay. Let's jump or step feet to hands. Inhale there. Fold, exhale. Bend the knees, Vasisthasana. Left ankle to lower right thigh. So first we just stick our butt out, lean the chest forward. It's like pigeon pose, but where the left ankle doesn't really have to deal with the floor, so potentially easier than pigeon. Okay, we'll start to lift the torso. Big step back with the left foot. Pivot around. Warrior 2 for the legs. Maksikanagasana, whatever version you did. Sometimes I try a version just to see what's happening in the body, and then I change my mind and do a different one. Some of that depends, are you practicing home alone? Are you in a studio with a teacher? How strict is that teacher? Okay, we'll rise up. We'll pivot around to face front. We'll find that ankle to that right thigh again. And we'll sit our butt back, shoulders forward, so that we can twist. So you're gonna hook as high up on your arm as possible. As long as you're above the elbow, you will be able to do this arm balance. The higher up you are, the easier it will be. You'll be less likely to fall out of it. Keep leaning forward, looking forward, pushing the left foot into the arm. Whenever you're ready, return to your twisted flying pigeon and untwist your flying pigeon and just stand up. Okay, vinyasa. Take your time, we're just gonna be in downward dog. If you're tired, just go to down dog and forget about it. Okay, right foot forward, back knee down. Koundinyasana for a few breaths. Just downward facing. If we had a little diagram with an arrow, it would be going that way with the hips toward the top edge of the mat. When you can, take robot arms. And just like we have a loop in our hips, we have this shoulder loop where our shoulders are rolling continuously back so that we feel the chest lift up. Either stay here and reach your elbows back and just use that to open the chest, or place your fingertips down under your hips. I don't actually feel much difference, but that's because I have long arms, so it's easy for me to get my fingers down, and I'm bending this front leg a lot, so my hips are pretty low to the floor. If you're a little less bent in that front knee, it's going to be harder to reach your fingers down, and doing so might detract from this shoulder loop. So take all of that into account when you make your choices. Okay, we're going to turn this into triangle. So just lean forward, lift your back knee, pivot your back foot down, reach for your right big toe if you can, or any other grip for your right hand. Left arm up. That's 3, 4, and 5. We'll unravel. Return to your Koundinyasana and turn it into a half split just by straightening your right leg. You might need to back your left knee up a little bit because you want your back thigh roughly vertical. And we'll just lean our chin toward our knee, toward our shin, wipe the sweat on your pants. If you have pants on, that's a very convenient thing to do. Okay, we'll rebend that front leg. Hands walk up the thigh and twist. Put your left arm outside of your right leg. Hands together. So first make sure this feels good. When you can, lift your back knee. We're going to turn this into Koundinyasana, very much like your Parsva bakasana, but notice your feet are not together. So they're going to be straight out like scissors. I'm going to just turn my angle so that you are not looking at my back. I'll just face this way. So same situation with the hands that you did before. Left hand comes down, it's no problem. Right hand has to reach a little bit. Once you're comfortable there, just like you did before, lean. Lift your legs, and they'll open up like a little scissor. You might feel your elbow digging into your thigh. Return to your twisted lunge. Take your time getting back there. And we'll just untwist and vinyasa. So you've probably heard at some point that you should get a foam roller and roll over your thigh. The people who do that regularly do not feel so much pain of their elbow digging into their muscle. I use my foam roller as like a drying rack for my sweaty t-shirt. So my thigh always feels my elbow. Okay, left foot forward. Koundinyasana. Right knee down. Just a few breaths leaning on a forward diagonal, opening up the hips. To get into these crazy arm balances, you do need your hips pretty open. Okay. Walk the hands to the thigh. When you can, take robot arms. And you might want to just keep rolling the shoulders open. As you fine tune it, theoretically, your circle gets a little smaller to a point where it doesn't really have an outward appearance, but you're still mentally activating this loop. And by reaching your elbows back, you're going to feel your chest open more. Either keep like that or lower your fingers down. Keep bending your front knee as much as you can stand it. Okay, we're going to turn it into triangle. You lean forward, lift your back knee, lower your back heel. I'm just going to reach for my sweat towel so that instead of reaching my right arm up to the ceiling, first I'm going to wipe all the sweat off my face. And maybe off my ankles too, because it's becoming an issue. Okay. Couple more breaths here. Leaning that right shoulder back. Okay. We'll lower that hand, return to Koundinyasana. This is a split prep, just for your right hip flexors. So now the other half of a split prep is that front leg hamstring. So we flex that foot as much as we can, and we fold. Okay, we'll rebend that front leg. I'm gonna just angle myself different, but you stay put. We're just gonna twist. So we'll hook that right arm. And as far as you can twist. So I like to unbend the front knee. Just helps the hook go higher and then rebend. When you can, lift the back knee. And you can keep your legs in this shape as you come into the arm balance. Or you can straighten out your left leg once you're there. So that right hand is down, facing the same way as your left foot. Left hand comes down. Shift your weight. Your hips will float in space. Your left leg can stay bent or it will straighten forward. We'll return to the lunge, take your time, and vinyasa out of it. You could have also gone to chaturanga out of it. Okay. Let's come to hands and knees for a moment. Walk the hands further forward. Anahata with steeple mudra. So we'll lower the either forehead or chin to the floor. And once you're there, if you can, be on your fingertips so that your elbows are somewhat lifted. Just a little more for your shoulders. If it's too much, keep your palms flat. See if you can draw your belly in. Now let's meet in down dog V. So you'll sort of crawl forward, adjust your hands, and lift the knees. Shake out the head. Walk your feet a little closer. Make sure your hands are not migrating together. Shake out the head again. Make sure it didn't clunk onto the ground. Straighten the arms, downward dog. After your exhale, stepward jump forward. Inhale when you get there. Fold, exhale. Rise all the way up. Inhale. Let's bring our right arm under the left. So we can twist our arms like ropes. Bend into the knees. Right leg on top. Hook as high up as you can. Maybe get your foot behind your ankle. We'll squeeze the limbs. Lift the elbows up. Few breaths like that. And we'll bring the elbows toward the belly button and curl. You'll lean forward a little bit. Very scrunched feeling. And slowly unravel. Just lower that right foot down. Inhale, arms up. We'll fold forward, exhale. Halfway up, inhale. Step the left foot back. So we're just in the lunge. You can either turn it into Koundinyasana as your split prep, or straighten the front leg for your split prep, or come into a split. You could stop the process of splitting your legs apart really anywhere along that train. I do recommend that if you're using something under your thigh here, that it's not a block, because the block is a set height and you'll be forever stuck at that height. If you use a towel or a sweatshirt, or if you have a series of books, you can adjust the height for the day. You won't always need your block to be 4 inches high. Okay, we're going to turn it into pigeon. So just rock to your right hip, bend the right knee. Downward facing pigeon. So we'll be on the forearms. And we're going to karate chop the pinky toe edge of the right foot down into the floor. So it feels like the ankle bone on that right ankle is lifting off the floor. It's not going to be any dramatic lift, but let me put my fingers there. It's enough for a finger to get under there. Okay, we're going to turn this into a side plank variation. So some of you are going to want to lift your back knee will come up for sure. This right foot can either be on the floor facing the right edge, and you'd be here. This is continuing with that pigeon-like stretch. Or you'll take hold of your big toe and start to lift your foot up. And then it will be feeling a little bit more like a split. Those of you who chose split, keep bending your right elbow. Come forward with that right leg. You're going to escort yourself again into a split by sort of lifting the foot as it comes forward. And we're all going to meet in a downward dog. So from wherever you wound up, vinyasa out of there. It's just a fun way to get into split. Okay, after your exhale, step or jump forward. Inhale there at the top. Fold, exhale. Rise up, inhale. And we'll bring our left arm under the right. Remember when we did that? That was like forever ago. Okay, we bend into the knees. When you can balance, left leg on top. And we try to sit our butt down and our elbows up. And we'll bring our elbows in, curl. We'll unravel, lower the foot, inhale, reach up, and fold on your exhale. Halfway up, inhale, and let's send the right foot back, exhale. So we're either in Anjane, or this would be Ardha Hanumanasana, or we creep that left foot forward until it doesn't want to go anymore. On this side, I find that my hips are less cooperative about squaring. So I curl my back toes under, and I pretend I'm in a lunge. And then the ball of that right foot is going to push the right hip forward a little bit more. All right, we're going to turn it into pigeon. Take your time doing so. And you decide how close do you want your foot to be to your right hip. The further forward this left foot goes, the more diligent you have to be about karate chopping the edge of your foot into the mat. Also, I often sneak a peek at that back leg. The distance between your right hip and the edge of your mat should be the same as the distance between your foot and the edge of your mat. If it's not, it means your leg is doing something wonky and you just have to adjust it. Okay, so we'll start to rise up. We'll move towards side plank. So the right knee comes up pretty easily. Bring the left foot down. All 10 toes will face the left. Hips have to stay pretty high. If you're taking it into the split version, reach for your big toe. You could even just have your knee by your armpit. When you want to, you just press the ball of your foot up. And when you want to take it into your split again, you start to bend your left elbow so that you can get your foot to land somewhere out in front of you. And you wind up again in your split. So let's meet in downward dog. Take your time getting out of wherever you wound up. And let's jump through and have a seat on our butt. Right leg on top, double pigeon. I think we do this every class, and it's never easy. Feels good, whereas it used to be kind of torturous, but it still presents this challenge of how do you externally rotate the thighs, how do you keep your ankles flexed, how do you bring your chest to your shin. Okay, let's rise up. Send the legs out and just roll onto your back. Let's just bring the right knee to the chest. Lift the left leg maybe 45 degrees, maybe not quite that high, but try to squish your back into the floor. So that not even an ant can crawl from one side of the mat to the other. And change legs so that your left knee is in, your right leg is out. And if it's difficult to keep your back down, it just means that your extended leg is too low. Just lift it up a little higher, no problem. So we'll bring both knees in and lift head toward knees. Exhale there. And on the inhale, extend everything out. You decide the height of your legs. Exhale, curl it all in. Inhale, extend it away. If you have any neck pain, just put your head down. Exhale, curl it all in. Your tailbone can lift. Inhale, extend it all the way. 2 more times. Exhale. Inhale. 1 more time. Just make sure the ant cannot travel across your mat. And this next time your knees are in the chest, just rock and roll. Have a seat. Double pigeon side 2. Left leg on top. So ideally you see an equilateral triangle when you look down. If it hurts you to have your foot dangling over the knee, like I have mine, you could put your foot just inside of the knee, but let this ankle stay flexed. You should not be looking at the sole of this foot. You should always see the edge. If I were to be looking at the sole of the foot, it means I'm sickling in the ankle. And of course, if your chest is on your shin, you can't really see your feet anyway. You're looking at the ground in front of you. Okay, so we'll come on up and we'll either go for a headstand to do a few little ab things, or repeat what we just did on our backs if you don't want to go to headstand. Okay, so we'll just meet in Vasisthasana A. That's the one where we interlace our fingers, we place our elbows down, we place our head there between our wrists. So when you're ready, just come on up. There is no rush. I'll talk you through it. It's not that fancy, and you'll just go at your own pace. You can move like molasses. If you're moving fast, just make sure you keep your balance. So we're just going to curl our knees into our chest. And as we do this, we're going to keep the inner edges of our feet glued together. Not the soles of the feet, just the edges. Inhale your legs up again. And you decide if that means all the way up or part way up. Exhale to curl them in. And we'll just do this 3 times. Or if I'm going very slow for you, maybe you fit in more than 3 times. But you'll notice if you're pushing the edges of your feet together, when you go to straighten your legs up again, it's easier. It's like they help each other. They lift each other up. And we'll meet in a child's pose. Whenever you feel done. You don't have to be done the same time I'm done. And when you're ready, take your vinyasa, downward dog. And we'll jump through to sitting. As you're jumping through, try to keep your butt up while you straighten your legs and then lower everything down. So you have to lean forward a little more than is comfortable. Okay, Maksikanagasana A. Heel toward sitting bone, right leg. Reach forward. Get your armpit low on your shin. Wrap around your leg. This is great for the right hip. It's also great for practice of drawing the belly in. If you were to let your belly hang out, you would notice that you can't hold very deep. So there's almost like an extra motivation in this pose. Okay, we'll rise up. Let's baby cradle that right leg. So we're just going to put the foot into the elbow and push so that the shin is across the body. This is another pose that we do pretty much every class. It's amazing. It preps you for half lotus. It preps you for foot behind the head. It teaches us to sit up straight so that we're using that core. Okay, heel to belly button, half lotus, Ardha Baddha, Padma Paschimottanasana. If that doesn't suit you, go for Koundinyasana A. So there's just a little bit of a twist here to bring your right armpit toward your left foot, toward your left knee maybe. If you think about the foot, you might wind up shrugging your shoulder a little too close to your ear. So just think about what is your mind game that you have to do. Where do you have to think about getting that right armpit so that your shoulder stays back and your spine stays long. Okay, we'll rise up. If you're in half lotus, take it to full lotus, maybe. So to know if you're ready, this knee has to be able to touch the floor. If it can't, you don't want to go to full lotus yet. And if you're not going to full lotus, just do some cross-legged. Okay, I'm just going to face front, but you're fine as you are. So we're just going to rock forward, stand on the knees for a sec. We'll get our arms into a chaturanga position and just catch your ribs with your arms. Lean forward more, start to lift your knees, and then extend your legs to chaturanga. Finish your vinyasa, and we'll do all that on the other side. Starting with the jumping through. So practice gripping the ground with your fingers. Pull yourself through. Lean your shoulders forward so that you can land your legs. Okay, Maksikanagasana 8. Left heel close to your left sitting bone. Reach forward and around. 1, 2, 3, belly in, 4, and 5. We'll rise up, baby cradle. So make sure you're pushing the foot to the side. Otherwise, the shin is not facing front, it's somewhere out diagonal. Shoulders back. You guys look cute. I can see you if I look off to the side. So if half lotus is not for you, you would just put your foot by your thigh. Because it's not for you today doesn't mean it's never going to be for you. This is a great prep, and bringing your heel to your belly button is a great prep. Just like if you were to put your foot behind your head, bringing your heel to your forehead is a great prep. So you really kind of aim your foot somewhere, and things will move around that. So when you're ready, reach around. If you're in Janu A, you'll have 2 hands on your right foot. Okay, we'll rise up. Full lotus it if you want, otherwise not. It will be the way that feels a little weird, because we don't usually go that leg first. So you can either repeat the same arms we did, or you're going to go for a bit of a painful wrist situation. So you would stand on your knees the same way. You'd flip your fingers to face back, and you try to get your wrists pretty close together. Then you're going to round your back and bring your elbows into your belly button. Lean forward and lift your knees. Unravel from there when you feel like it. And then the up dog, down dog is a little awkward. I've seen people that can do this down dog and get their head between their arms. I think my wrists would break off. So I flip my hands back around. That's just a Mayurasana prep. Great fun, as you saw. Okay, so we're going to let's come to our belly. Before we come to hands and knees, let's lower all the way down. Walk the right arm out to the side, about eyeball height with your hand. Roll onto your arm. I like to use the left hand on the floor to just nudge me deeper into this opening, but some people will flip the right hand to face up and just bring the left hand around to interlace fingers. It's pretty wild, but it's fun. Slowly get out of there and go for the other side. Try to get it eyeball height so that it's not too easy. If your hand is too low by your butt, there's not going to be any stretch there. So either using your right hand to help you twist or reaching around. And usually if we were in a live class all together in a room, I would run around and connect your hands together, because often that top hand is not on the proper plane to reach the bottom hand, even though the flexibility is there. Because you can't see it, you don't always know where to grab. Okay, so we'll come out of there nice and slow. Hands under the shoulders. Inhale, we'll curl up, and exhale just to hands and knees. So we're going to come into Galavasana from tripod. Let's do 1 round of only prep, and then a second, then we'll rest, and then we'll do the full thing. So I'm just going to face this way for the sake of seeing. So let's come into tripod all together. And if you don't want to do tripod, you can do Vasisthasana A, just that then when we come into the arm balance, you won't be able to, but it's fine. So once you're up, right ankle to lower left thigh, start to bend the left knee, and use the left leg to get your shin bone close to your chest. Make sure you're still breathing, and then just lift your legs up again. Then the other side, so left ankle to lower right thigh. So the strength of your right leg is bringing your shin toward you.
your core is going to get your legs up again. And just come to child's pose, have a little rest for a moment. Okay. So that was great fun. Now let's do the full thing. So if you prefer, repeat what you did. If you have any neck issues, do it from this version of headstand where you're just working the hips and you're not coming into the balance. Okay, place the hands, place the head. And you decide if you rest in between sides or not. I'm not sure yet if I'm going to. Depends how things go. So right ankle to lower left thigh. We hook that foot high up on the left arm. And it's just like when we lift into bakasana, we need to look forward and get the hips up. To come down again, we'll lower the head, and it's a lot of abs. It's also a lot of tricep. I start to get a little fatigued in the tricep. So when you're ready, you come to side two. I feel that on this side, I didn't put my legs in a good spot. So then I just lowered to the foot so I could adjust it. I could also lower to the head to adjust it. So we'll meet in a child's pose. I'm going to have a look-see at you guys in case I can help you on your side two or something. Lisa, roll a little more toward your forehead before you lift your head so that you have a little more forward movement so that your butt is higher still. Okay. Was that side two? Okay. It's killer, right? Oh, I feel like my arms are about to fall off. I know. But imagine if we did that every day, they would cease to fall off. So that's part of the joy of Ashtanga is you get to do it every day. All right, let's meet in downward dog. And let's jump through to sit. So remember to lean forward more than you want to. Good. Let's bring the right leg, I'm just gonna face you, bring the right leg over the left and bend the left leg. Ardha Maksikanagasana. So we'll twist that left arm outside the right leg, reach down if you want, and look over your right shoulder. Either your right hand's gonna wrap behind you, you'll try to grab your left thigh, or press your fingertips into the floor and use it to help you sit up straighter. Okay. And we'll slowly unwind. Vasisthasana, which we actually did once the other day, I don't know. So we'll unravel the legs. Let's just set up the front leg like it would be a pigeon, just so you know another way to do it. Thigh parallel to the long edge of the mat, shin parallel to the top edge. And then the back leg just makes angles, right angles. So it's like a half swastika. So then this left forearm is going to come off the mat to the right. As long as your left forearm is parallel to your right thigh, you've got the pose. Hands near each other, right hand pushes, left hand pulls, and you're just going to twist a little deeper. Okay, let's slowly get out of there. Unravel everything, lay back, and we'll bring the legs up, L shape. And we're going to try to lift the legs a few times, but without letting them come over the face or over the body. So we're just going to keep them over the hips. They're not going to lift all that much. It's very tempting to do something like this, let the legs move a lot. But if you try that, you'll see it's super easy. It's like not doing anything. So if you keep your legs in a line, all of a sudden, there's like no movement and it's crazy hard. Okay, let's rock up to sitting. Ardha Maksikanagasana side 2. If you have any knee pain, instead of bending this right leg, just keep it out there. It's fine. And if you have shoulder sensitivity, instead of reaching this right hand for your foot, just keep your elbow bent and practice pushing your knee further to the right. And in a pose like this, you have to think very hard about what is right and left. Because when I say push your knee to the right, it's your left knee that you're pushing over to the right. It's a little crazy. Miss Sally, oh my gosh. Sally is just planted in the center of Jules's mat. You know why? Because she owns the world, that's why. I get to go to a birthday party with her on Sunday. I'm gonna see Miss Sally. Okay, let's unravel there and come into Vasisthasana. So you can arrange your legs however you want. Often I'll have you put your thigh bone at the top edge of the mat, but it can be done just as easily with your shin bone, how you would a pigeon. Get your right forearm parallel to that left thigh, and you have to work your arms. Otherwise, there will be no twist. This is good practice for the pulling that you would do in a pinch up, or the lifting of your head that you would do in an arm balance. Okay, so take your time getting out of there. Vinyasa when you can. And we're going to return to a pose we did very early on, but we'll get into it a different way. Parsva bakasana from tripod. So that was the one that I had you do. You were in your twisted chair, you put your hands down, and you went like this. So same pose, just coming from your head. So let's come into tripod. I'm just going to face a normal way. There's not really much to see because you know what your end result is going to be. So the hard part is going to be getting your legs over your arm. So when you're ready, you're going to bring your knees toward your chest. And as you're twisting, the elbow you're twisting toward can come in just a little bit, just to kind of cheat it, a smidge. Then you'll pull your chest forward and look forward. When you're ready, you'll lower your head down again, lift your butt up. Your legs can come all the way up or not. And then you'll make your way toward the other side. So you might have to have a few little sweeps to try to get your leg onto your arm, because that really is the challenging part. And once you get that, you'll find other things that are the challenging parts, but that's, if you're new to this pose, that's the thing that you're like, no, it's never gonna happen. Good, so Lisa, it's the same as before. You gotta lean forward more, girl. I know you don't want to. Good. And same for you, Miss Carrie, so that you don't land on your butt. Jules, how'd it go? Not well. Okay, that's pretty good. Keep your elbows in just a little more, Jules. Your elbows are just like this much too far to the side. Okay. Good. So it's a crazy ab twist oblique workout. Yavasta, downward dog. Shake out your neck, make sure that you're not holding anything there. You just did a pretty difficult neck activity. Let's jump through to sit. And we'll fold the right leg back. Tiryan Mukai Kapada, Paschimottanasana. We're just going to take 3 breaths. So hinge at your hips. Everything is kind of already organized. So all you're going to do is hinge to bring your chest toward your knees. You can reach toward your foot. And still consider that hinge and just open it up again, like the door is now, what would it be? Closed? Open? Lift the leg. Koundinyasana. So we're still opening through that left hamstring. Make sure there's no pain in this right knee. If there is, just sit up on something. Okay. Straighten the arms. Let the leg float there and just frame the leg. What if I was a Kundalini teacher and I told you to stay here for 5 more minutes? Oh my God. Those Kundalini people are crazy. They hold the poses for so long. Okay, bend into that left leg. So we'll try a bakasana, but this time we're going to try to extend the right leg back. Earlier we held it in a little ball shape. So to get there, left armpit to shin, rock your weight forward, lift your butt, lift your left foot, lift your right knee. Now when you're ready, just come forward a little bit more and let your right leg start to float up. The higher your butt is, the easier it is to get that right leg up. When you're ready, it's a vinyasa from there. Okay, that was pretty good. You guys are now in front of me here. So the only thing I saw was, maybe it's excitedness. The back leg was a little bit hoppy. We want it to be more of a lethargic lift. So I'm gonna just demo an over-exaggeration. You guys did not quite look like this. But if I'm doing this, you see how my butt hasn't moved its location? If I actually want to get my back foot up, I have to lift my butt up. And once the butt is up, it's a slow lift of that right leg. We'll try it on the other side after we do the other stuff. So right leg straight, left leg bent behind. Tiryan Mukai Kapada, Paschimottanasana. So we're already kind of unionized here with core in, shoulders and hips talking. So we just take it forward. If you find that you're falling onto your right side, just put your hand out. Okay, rise up, lift the leg. So this is a lot of hip flexor muscle to get your leg up. Some people can lift it all the way up. Mine stops somewhere out here, then I have to reach for it with my hand and pull it the rest of the way. And Carrie, try to get your leg a little higher. Maybe hold lower on your foot. Yeah, and then it will be a little easier also to point your toes. Okay, so we'll straighten the arms again. Try to keep the leg where it is. Do as I say, not as I do. So I'm thinking about lifting it up, but man, is that a heavy leg. And each breath, I'm just trying harder and harder to prevent it from falling. Okay, let's let it come down. Bend into the knee. This is just a great setup for bakasana. You're already in a ball, so there's not much you have to fiddle with. Get your armpit to your shin, or your knee to your armpit, whichever you prefer. Lift your foot, lift your butt, and then just practice not getting too eager with that left leg lifting. Instead, lean forward. And you know how you go in headstand, you know how you lean into it in order to get your leg up higher. So it's that same kind of concept. And then when you're ready, you just jump it back. And that's cute, Lisa. I see that you were watching me, and now it's your turn, and I'll watch you. So the more you push your shin into your arm, the higher your butt will go. Oh, okay. Falling happens. So whenever you're done meeting down dog, I'm going to watch Lisa try this side. Bend your left elbow a little bit, Lisa. Make life a little easier. Keep leaning forward. Yes. Okay, good. So if you just do it like that 100 more times, no problem. Okay. Time check. Oh my Lord. Let's jump onto the shins. Virasana. I knew today was going to be a little bit of an arm balancing class, but man, does the time go quick. So we're going to be on the shins. If you have any knee pain, instead, just straighten your legs out. Not a problem. Place your hands either on your toes or next to your hips if your legs are straight. And come onto the elbows. And lift the chest up in dramatic fashion. If you have your legs bent behind you, now walk your hands to your heels. Your elbows are going to be a little closer to you. Drop the crown of your head to the floor. Then take hold of opposite elbows and start to pull your elbows down, your forearms down. And this is a similar opening to what you'd have in like a Maksikanagasana where your chest and throat are open. Just take one more breath like that. And slowly release your hands to your heels. Prop yourself up, walk it in. And we'll lower to the forearms, step back, down dog B. So earlier we did some handstands where we jumped 2 legs into it, or I should say we attempted. Let's attempt that with our forearm shape. So with the wall behind you or not, you walk your feet in a little bit, and you'll give yourself a little jump up. Maybe you can look a little more forward, make your back bend a little bigger. And let's meet in just a regular downward dog with feet on the floor and arms straight. And again, we'll come on to the shins. We'll start in Supta Virasana like we did, but we'll turn it into Urdhva Mula. So we're going to try to get our butt off the ground. It'll start the same way, just coming back onto the elbows. And then you're gonna have to push into your feet more to get your butt up. And once your butt is up, then head down like you did, and then hold opposite elbows like you did. And all of a sudden your legs are working like mad. If you have any knee pain and you don't want to do it like this, be in a Sechibandha Sarvangasana type of shape. Any back bend. Those of you who are in this Urdhva Mula, lower down to your back, so you're in Supta Virasana, and then we'll rise up to regular Virasana. Okay, Pincha Mayurasana, this time into Chatwari. So you'll have to move your hands real quick. And let's do a tiny little prep for that. So we're going to start, for this little prep, we're going to start on a forearm plank type of position. We're just going to do this 3 times. We're going to quickly move our hands back for Chaturanga. Then reset, knees down, forearms down, knees up again. And when you're ready, a real quick Chaturanga. And reset, just one more time. This is just so you get that idea of how to fire up your hands. Okay, so let's try it with Pincha. I'm going to move my computer out of the way just in case somehow my legs get really long all of a sudden when I'm upside down. I just get nervous. So from Pincha, we'll try again to lift up with 2 legs together like you did before. And we'll have a few conscious thoughts in Pincha. So there's no rush of the descent. Just worry about the ascent for right now. And once you're up, deepen your back bend just a smidge. Make sure you're breathing. The inner edges of your feet can touch. That'll help keep the legs cooperative. And when you're ready, chaturanga. And we'll meet in downward dog. And if it didn't work out, no worries. You meet in down dog anyway. All right, let's come to our back. A few more back bends. Let me just see what kind of time we're at, okay? So we'll come down for Koundinyasana, most likely. If you want to do a different one, by all means, do a different one. We're going to be up here for 5 breaths. That's already 2. When we are at the 5th breath, we're not going to come all the way down. We're just going to come to the top of the head. Okay, so that's 5. So come to the top of the head. Make sure your elbows are as close together as your wrists are. And straighten your arms again for Koundinyasana. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, just to the top of the head. It's a nice visual. Sometimes we see our elbows are wider than they need to be. Lift up again, last one. That's 2, 3, 4, and 5. Come on down all the way to your back. Bring your knees in. And on your exhale, just pull them in close. Inhale, push them away. And just do this a few times. In Monday's class, we did drop backs, which I said then, and I'll say it again just in case you weren't there. It's something I never really wanted to teach from a computer without being there to assist your pose. But quarantine is going on and on and on, so at some point we just have to do it anyway. Okay, let's rock up. So we'll probably do drop backs again at some point this week. Let's fold forward. But the way that we do them is approachable, I would think. So as you're folding forward, keep drawing your belly in as if you have another yoga mat that's rolled up and stuck right at your hip crease. And you know how much space that rolled up yoga mat would take. Okay, let's rise up. Let's bring the soles of the feet together. Inhale. And fold forward, chest toward feet. Exhale. And the knees drop down. You can keep your hands on your feet and give yourself a little pull into the pose, or you can gently push the knees down. You could reach forward and pull from there. Okay, let's rise up. We'll bring the legs out wide-ish for Vasisthasana. Chest forward and down. Hands to the outer edges of the feet. I also wanted to do Vasisthasana today, but 90 minutes is just not enough time. So we'll do that maybe Sunday. Okay, let's rise up, cross the legs in whichever way suits you. It could be a lotus or a half lotus. Those of you doing lotus, go right leg first, then left leg. And there's about 2 inches of toe dangling over your hip. So when you go to bind your arms behind you, you're gonna go left arm around you, and it's gonna hold your left foot, but it's on the right side of your body. So a little whipping is gonna help. You want all this flesh to be cooperative so that you have a really nice grip. Then your right arm is gonna twist the other way, and you'll grab hold of your right toes. Your toes basically are gonna cross, and we fold forward. It's pretty hard pose to get into, so this is one of the poses that often a teacher will pull your hand onto your foot. You could also use a strap, or you could hold your elbows until it changes. Let's start to rise up. Either stay sitting or lay back and relax. to wiggle fingers and toes. Bring your knees in toward your chest. Take a deep breath. Roll over to the side. And with very minimal effort, sit up. Let's bring the hands to gentle fists and place these fists right at your hip crease so that you can fold forward over your hands. Namaste.